She walks it loud like a thunderstorm, debunking myths with style and form. True crime, conspiracies, her game. Melissa Jade, remember her name. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Microphone fierce like a roaring lion, unveiling secrets people been hiding. True crime queen of the digital scene, Melissa's got you hooked on her screen. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Murders to cover-ups, nothing misses. Melissa's here to share her guesses. She's got theories big and bold, no stone unturned, no case cold. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. From murders to cover-ups, nothing misses. Melissa's here to share her guesses. She's got theories big and bold, no stone unturned, no case cold. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. 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 She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Natasha.
Hi.
Happy Members Only Monday.
What up, what up?
How you feeling?
Much better than I was the
Oh.
last couple days, thank God. Still
Thank goodness.
Tired, but yeah, so much better.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm just so excited to be back on. I can't believe this, part one was the last live I did before I moved. Oh, come on. Hello.
Oh my gosh,
it was. I did before I moved, yeah.
Wow.
So now we're on part 2 at the new place.
Woohoo.
And I feel like it's been forever. No. I like the new place. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time streaming. I know there's just a lot of change, but I think I'm so used to streaming at my old place that it feels weird when I'm streaming here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. You'll find your flow though.
Yeah, I gotta get into a rhythm, and I know I keep saying that, but it's been harder than I realized. I don't know why. But I'm excited to be here tonight, and I'm excited to do this. And this is my 3rd night in a row, which I know sounds like nothing because I used to stream every night, but that's good for me right now. It's good.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's nothing better than Tisha and her crazy ass, because she gets me going every time.
It'll definitely make you feel better about your own life.
She sure does. So this is part 2 to Letecia Stauch's social media post that she was making during the time that she wasn't on the run, but it was during the time from the murder to before she was arrested. So really, mainly it's February. And she was doing a lot. Yeah, that's, what, Cicely, that's the best way I could put it. It discombobulated me. You know, Mr. Potato Head in Toy Story when he's yanked and pulled and all of his things pop out. I feel like that. I feel like my things are scattered on the floor, like my ear and my nose, and I have to pick it up and pop it back through my holes. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so it'll get there. It'll get there.
Sure.
God, I hope Tisha isn't the bar. No. And hello, everybody. Hi, Samantha, Mallory, Nancy. I quoted Scary Movie 2 in the chat tonight. And no, take my strong hand, child. Dude, that movie is much more inappropriate than I realized, like the scary movies, because my spawn stumbled upon the first one, and I'm like, oh yeah, I watched this when I was like your age. And I was like,
oh,
inappropriate. Very inappropriate.
So bad.
So bad. And thank you, Justin. Moving expenses. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. Yeah, it really does. It really does. Thank you, Mallory. Okay, so here is our missing children. This is an active Amber Alert. So this is for Idaho. This is Alan Fisher, missing since yesterday, June 22nd, 2025, from Montview, Idaho. He is 13 years old. He is white, blonde hair, blue eyes, 5'9", 135 pounds. He was last seen wearing a blue shirt and blue jeans. We have a vehicle information for an Amber Alert, a Hyundai with the license plate 4B as in boy, YT6, and the license plate is for Utah. And then we have Rochelle Fisher, and Rochelle is 15 years old, 5'5", 135 pounds, blue eyes, brown hair, green dress she was last seen in. They were last seen at 7 p.m. on the 22nd in Montview, Idaho, and they may be headed to an LFDS group in Mendon, Utah, possibly in a gray Hyundai, like I said, plate 4BYT6 with Utah plates, may be with adult siblings. So here is Rochelle. Ooh, that's different. That's different. Hi, Carolyn Coops. Hey, Wolfie. Lisa. Thanks, Homer, for 1 year, Homer.
Already?
Yeah, it's been a year. Thank you. Hi, Caleb, Mallory. So, if you or anyone knows information on their whereabouts, please contact, obviously, 911 first or the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office at 208-754-9210. Woo! Okay, we did it.
Aww.
So, I know that's they may be. What did it say? That they may be headed to an LFDS group in Mendon. LFDS group.
I'm not sure what that. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is, to be completely honest.
Sure either. Okay. So, I don't know why, like, and if somebody knows, like, because I've had this issue, and I totally forgot I had this issue the last time we did part 1, but with Messenger, I can't send, like, say I'm trying to send 100 screenshots, I can't send them all at once and then just scroll to the right. Like, I have to send them individually. I don't know why. Like, so if I try to scroll through the right, you'll see my muffins. You'll see like the last photo I sent versus the next photo of the batch, if that makes sense. I don't know why it's being like that. I don't know if it needs like an update, but how do you update it on your computer? I only know how to update it from my phone, you know?
Oh, I don't know. That's Messenger. I'm going to be no help. I think the last time I had it was like 5 years ago. So, especially on a computer.
I don't use like the Facebook itself. I just use Messenger to send things to myself. So you see at the bottom, like you'll see all of my screenshots, but like it's really annoying having to do one at a time. And then sometimes it gets out of order. Oh, you missed that yesterday. Yes, I did say my muffins, Wolfie, that turned gray blue. Yeah. And they all shamed me in the chat. They shamed me for my lack of a peak. And they shamed me for my color. So yeah, you know what? They weren't too fluffy either. So thanks for the reminder. Thanks, Julie, for 13 months. Thank you for letting me in this awesome community. It is a pleasure. And thank you, Kathy Joe. Hi, Harlot. All right. Are you ready to continue on? I think there's like 40 more posts that we'll go through. You know, obviously like they're broken up a little bit, but hopefully they're not bad out of order and I'll be able to figure it out. C. Carter says, hi, everyone. Yes, we saw your muffins. Yes. And I will forever regret showing you guys those pitiful muffins. But I'll step it up next time and I'll have the most beautiful, big, peaked muffins.
Audacious muffins ever.
The most bodacious muffins. Just you wait. Okay. All right. So here is Letecia Stauch's old Natasha MySpace page. Like, I think it's part of her MySpace page. Look at that font, like, with the color. Did you have a MySpace page?
Yes, like way back. I think I was like 15 when I first signed up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Way back.
I had one, but I wasn't fancy the way that other people had. Like, they had like a song imprinted in the background. Something like that. I never was tech savvy like that, but I did have Tom. Was Tom MySpace or Facebook?
Yes.
Yeah, he was
That was,
MySpace.
yep.
Okay.
Everyone learned how to code back then to have the coolest MySpace page.
Was it a dating site, Nancy? Nancy says, wasn't this a dating site? You know what? To be fair, I don't know. It looks like maybe, I don't know.
I didn't know that, but it's possible.
Maybe. I've probably been saying MySpace every live I've done this on, but if it's not MySpace, then I could be wrong. I'm basing it off of nothing, actually. So
it looks like MySpace.
It looks like MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I do put a little bit of sugar, so there's that in my red sauce. You have to balance the acidity. Not too much. Just a spoonful of sugar. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Hi, Wolfie. Hi.
My mother's name is on a dating site. You know what? To be fair, you never know when it's Tisha. You never know. Okay. So you wanna read it? We got an old photo. Look at, like, I know it's blurry and pixelated, which again reminds me of MySpace, but look how you could tell how young she is.
Yeah.
In that photo. You could see Harley in it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. She got that Harley-esque look to her.
Wow.
I think Letecia ended up being a slob, but do I think there was time that when she was together, that she wasn't an ugly girl? I don't think she was. I think it was everything about her that made her that much more slobbish and ugly, if that makes sense.
Yes. Like the evil is just seething through the outside.
Yeah. And then she had really poor hygiene towards
Ew.
that.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. The worst part. Well, one of the worst parts. Hello, everyone. My name... Yes. Oh, wait. Why is it... There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Letecia Harden, and I am a resident of Pembroke, North Carolina. I am a senior political science major and currently work at the UNCP Computing Center as a Brave Tech. I enjoy playing softball, hanging out with my friends, and just living life to its fullest. I plan to teach law in the future and also volunteer to help local kids with their education and family problems.
Well, don't you do that. Okay.
My mother's name is Deborah. So weird. And she is the best mom in the whole world. She has encouraged me to pursue my dreams and never give up. I have a brother named Dakota and a sister named Julie. My boyfriend is Chance, and we have a beautiful 3-year-old daughter named Harley. My overall plan is to get the job of my dreams, live wealthy, and have our savior in my life. My hobbies: softball, riding ATVs, swimming, shopping.
I don't think that's a dating site, but you know what? Who knows? So she had Harley at this point. But anytime she mentions Dakota, my heart breaks because I'll never forget Dakota on the Santa trial. And that was probably, I would say every witness was hard besides Dr. Dorothy Lewis in that case.
Mm-hmm. Same.
But Dakota was, because I remember watching it on Icked Mel's in real time. And it was so, like, when he broke down, and he was like, why, Tisha, why? And Judge Werner had to dismiss the jury, which Judge Werner handled like a boss, but the truth is you can't be, saying things like that at the, on the stand. But he gave him a minute to get himself composed, but you could tell how much it devastated him. And another instance where someone came inches away from Gannon's body and was nearly found. And it didn't happen because there's a lot in this case.
Definitely. It was such a visceral reaction. Like, you could just tell it just completely caught him off guard. And I'm sure living with that just knowing how close he was. And I can't imagine. I'm sure he's still dealing with a lot,
Well, and we don't talk a lot about, the families of the killers. And it can't be easy. It can't be easy at all. When he got on that stand, he explained how they're from a small community and they couldn't even walk around and show their face. They just couldn't anymore. And it's sad because, of course, our minds go to the victims' families, but they are victims in their own way too. Tisha has a lot of victims, and I can't imagine, what do you do? It's got to be so hard.
Absolutely. I can't imagine.
Welcome, Pan Am.
Welcome.
We never got around to like when I stopped with the Tisha recap, we were so close to Dr. Dorothy, and then then I restarted like all the coverage. So no, I'd like to finish that though, because I would love to listen to Werner again put Dr. Dorothy Lewis in her place. I don't think people remember how outrageous of a witness she was. She was an outrageous witness.
It was so bad. It was
bad.
It was so bad.
Okay. Ooh, all right. So again, and I've said this before, something about Letecia during this time period is she gave all of the evidence against her in regards to the public eye. And so their case against Letecia Stauch was so solid that they didn't even need to introduce any of this at trial. None of it. But Letecia was on all of these Facebook groups, and she ended up sending out to one of these people on Messenger the ADT alarm system, and it tracked the movement. So actually, and I've said it in the past, like it's very eerie, at least when I look at this, because what you're seeing is actually the murder just in motion detecting. And so we know that as soon as they got back, Gannon immediately went inside. Letecia backed that truck up. And so you're going to see the motion in the basement. And then you're going to see her come in through the ground floor back down to the basement. And that's when it happens. And you're going to see her going up and down, in and out of the door multiple times. And so just even seeing it like that, it just gives me the chills, Natasha.
It does me too. I probably looked over this. Like every time you've covered it, just seeing it is just like, if you really pay attention to it, it's very telling. Very telling. And she's dumb enough to send it to someone.
She's dumb enough to send it out because first she was so mad that nobody believed her with the one thing she was telling the truth about. And the one thing originally she was telling the truth about is Gannon did return back home with her. But because we only saw that one side of the video and we never saw Gannon get out, a lot of people assumed he was already gone, even Al. So at first she sent these out to prove, hello, there's at least 2 people moving within this house. But then she ended up switching up her story and realized, actually, it might be to my own benefit if I claim Gannon never returned home, because then I don't have to show where he went. He was never seen leaving. And so she was an idiot and took these screenshots and sent them out. And it shows that the living room, this is during the time, at least the day of the murder, and then you'll see one specifically during the time frame. But this is, why is this one February 20th? Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. She sent it February 20th. Okay, so this is, it shows the living room motion detector, basement motion detector, living room motion detector, basement, living room, basement. So she was boom, 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 boom. And I know that there's going to be clearer shots as I go on. But then it says back door open, security panel disarmed, back door, basement motion, living room motion, 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 basement motion. And it just goes on and on. And so you'll see Tisha say, so I did all this motion by myself, since it was just me who came back supposedly. And the person's asking, so that's your alarm things? And she's like, yes. So she's sending this out to prove, hello, Obviously, Gannon was with me because I couldn't have done all this motion by myself, which does make sense. Yeah, it does show. There was simultaneous movement on the ground floor and the basement level at the same time. But then she, in the interrogation with Grusing, she's like, if you think Gannon came back with me, then we need to just stop talking here or there because there's no point. So how do you go from being this assertive that you were not alone, Gannon was there, and then you turn around and you say, well, if you think Gannon came back with me, there's no reason to talk.
Yes. I know this, like, and it might sound strange to some people, but given how long we've gone through these things and how, like, again, I know you understand, but like, this is just one of those cases that's like really, really, really sticks with me. And to see, it would be really cool, and I'm definitely not the one to do it, but it would be really cool if it could be laid out somehow, the motion itself, to like in a timeline, you know what I mean, to get
like how
like
Ray Hughes does it.
Yes, if you could have like a layout of the house and like some sort of timeline that would kind of, because I know a lot of us are still stuck on some details that I think maybe that would provide more insight.
Really good idea.
It's a little neurotic, I know, but that's kind of like, I think it would give, it would give a lot of insight that we can't see just looking at it, you know?
That's a really good idea. I don't know why I've never thought about that before.
It would take a lot of time. I'm just not the one to do it. But it'd be really cool.
I'm not the one who could do it either, but I know Gray Hughes does excellent work as far as those visuals and taking something on paper and recreating it as the visual.
Yeah.
And that would be really good.
That would be really neat to see.
Yeah. Does it for Shiggles? I don't know how to do micro dots though. And no, Nancy, that's not where I got it from. But I'm going to look on True Crime Society blog, because if there's more and different ones, I want them.
Yeah.
Society blog. I wrote that down.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, that's interesting, Nancy. I didn't know there were others out there.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Me neither.
Okay, so this is someone who had messaged Letecia, and again, they're all just kind of out of order and scattered. But I'm not sure what they said originally, but you could read what Tisha's response is, and you'll get the gist.
Okay. Do what? Really? You think I hurt Gannon? You have lost your mind. And I've never had a domestic violence case. Someone made that crap up. Yes, I cried for Kobe, and you don't know what I did for Gannon or how I cried.
Freaking Kobe.
I can't with that stuff.
She cried more for Kobe Bryant, because Kobe Bryant's passing was right at that time, than we ever saw. Like, we've never seen her cry for Gannon. But she'll cry when she talks about Kobe.
Mm-hmm. And it was her favorite stepchild, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And it was her favorite stepchild, right?
Yeah.
And what's so eerie in that last video that we hear Gannon in that infamous, horrible candle video the night before his murder, when she's walking through, it's the news playing with Kobe Bryant, his passing, and then the accident in the background.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. Hey, MK. Hi, Harley Quinn. Hi, Midnight Lace. Someone yelled at me the other day in a comment saying they really love me, but enough saying hellos, like it's hello, hello, hello.
Off already.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, I try to say my quick hello in the beginning, but if people pop in, it's a live stream. It's not a pre-record.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I'm going to say hello.
I'm just going to bite my tongue.
Dude, I'm just so over people.
Me too.
Yeah. You're because then there'll be the people who are like, you don't even stop and say hello.
Exactly. Yes.
Creator.
Yes.
Well, which one is it?
Both. You got to do both.
It's both. You got to do both. Okay, so Tisha writes, but if you think for a second I would hurt church, then you are delusional. So think for yourself what you want. I just got one of the best attorneys in the country. well known for big time cases, and he is about to shred this apart. And she means Baez. For shiggles. That's what that one person said. You need to thank everyone for super chats and memberships at the beginning of the live stream, because I'm supposed to be able to predict ahead of time who may send a super chat or give memberships, right? That makes, like, did that person even think before they left that comment? I don't think so.
I mean, they don't have to watch. You can fast forward. Like, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to watch, you know?
Yes.
You really don't.
Exactly. Just double tap on that screen and fast forward.
Yes.
It's just people, man. Thank you, Coffee and Skeletons. So with the church, I don't remember. So, like, that's her ex, right? And
Oh.
Church.
I don't know. That's what I thought. It was like a typo, but maybe you're right. Maybe I'm missing something.
Chance.
Oh, that's.
But I thought it may have autocorrected to church.
Okay, yep, that would make more sense to me.
Or maybe it didn't. Who knows? Maybe it's just a straight autocorrect.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. I bet it was Chance, because the letters wouldn't make sense for, like, Gannon or...
But then again, it's Letecia, so who knows?
Maybe she did mean church.
Either way, her saying, I just got my best attorney's Jose Baez, right? And he's about to shred this apart. Yeah, spoiler alert, that did not happen. You missed my milestone before I sent it out. I'm out. Well, thank you for 28 months, MK.
Yeah. Woo. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Okay, she continues. Go ahead.
And at the end of the day, you will see she is, was, and always will be a piece of shit who didn't give a damn but about herself and money. So don't be blind. You will get done the same. I'm not guilty of anything, and it will come out. Don't blame me. The community gave her thousands of dollars to stay there, not Texas. And trust me, Albert hasn't played into her nonsense.
I know it's cut off. That's about Landon. I think if she was talking to Mike at this point, because remember there were the messages with her and Mike, and I think she was trying to say to Mike, which was Landon's husband at the time, like, don't worry, it'll exactly what happened to me is going to happen to you.
No.
But at the end of the day, you'll see that she is, was, and always will be a piece of shit who didn't give a damn, right, about Gannon, just about herself and money. No, ma'am. Like, that is, like, and again, this is what makes Letecia one of the most evil killers, in my opinion. It's this. She knows what she did. She knows what she did, yet she still had no problem blaming Landon and Al.
Exactly.
I don't know how she did, because I don't know, like, I just couldn't imagine being that evil, like, let alone that evil to do what she did, but to then have time to reflect after the moment has passed and still have no problem. If Landon was able to get arrested in her place and serve the rest of her life for the murder of her son, Letecia would take that in a second.
Oh, yeah. And really, if you think about it, that's exactly what she was trying to do at one point. She was trying to shift all the focus on her, and even Mike just insinuating, at least, and even the sickness of calling her from Gannon's phone. Like, the resentment it runs deep, and I feel like so much of this entire situation stemmed from that. I really do. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. I think a lot of it had to do with her hate for Landon, her jealousy.
I agree. I think it was a perfect storm. And I think it wasn't necessarily just one thing versus it was her control over Al. She clearly did that with Al numerous times. Allie and Bundy are always dropping prior body cam footage of her staging these incidents, and I think she had to keep stepping it up. But I think her disdain to Gannon specifically absolutely had a big part to do with Landon.
Yes. Yes. She even acted that way toward Al, almost like one of those situations, like if you don't want him, but you don't want anyone else to have him. Like
Yes.
I don't think obviously, I don't think she truly cared for him. I think she cared about what he provided for her
Mm-hmm.
and the stuff, you know.
Let me ask you, do you think it was premeditated?
I've thought a lot about this and I've kind of bounced back and forth, but since I've really, I think the more I've learned about it, the more I do believe it was premeditated. I really do. I don't think that she planned for it to happen the way it did or exactly when it happened, but I do think that she planned on getting, I hate to even say it, like I do think she planned on taking his life one way or another. I do.
See, in the beginning, I never thought premeditation. I thought it was she took things too far and then she had to make the decision in the hours leading up to Monday morning, like the early
Yes.
hours Monday morning, that
Yes.
this is what she'll do. But the more and more that I've dived deep into it, and there are those emails that she sent just like 2 days before
Yes.
Gannon's murder to Al, where she's like, someday soon you're going to regret this.
Yes. The Google searches.
The Google searches, and then
Mm-hmm.
it makes you go, well, shit. And I resonate exactly with what you say. I don't think she planned to the T of how it happened. I actually think she was trying to do something during the 4 hours that she was out driving, but
Yes.
then ran out of time. It didn't work out. And that's why she
Mm-hmm.
went home. And all of a sudden, in that small little time frame before Lena came home, that's when she did it.
Yes.
I think she had a good idea in her mind that she may take his life.
Same, which caused the panic and the frantic movements and
Yeah.
the lying and the aspect of just getting through this moment. You know damn well like everything can be validated or invalidated in this case, but she does it just to get through that moment. And I think that's because, well, just like you said, I don't think she planned for it to happen when exactly she did. So she's literally just trying to get through second by second, minute by minute.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And we see that so much in Leticia's lies, because I've never seen a liar. Like, Letecia lies just to get through that moment. It does not
Mm-hmm.
matter if that one lie is going to end 100% in her being exposed. She will deal with that lie being exposed when that lie gets exposed. Right now, she
Right.
just needs to get out of this situation right here. But I think that does apply to her overall thinking. I think she did think, I need to accomplish this in this moment, and I'll worry about the consequences later, and I'll deal with that then.
Yes. Absolutely. I agree.
I think she needs to be studied, Sprinkle Dawn. I feel like everyone here that has been stuck in like Letecia Stauch rabbit hole
Mm-hmm.
understands she is an enigma. She is very unique.
Yeah.
And I'd love, because I don't think she falls under a perfect mental, like, obviously I think she has
Something's not right up there.
disorders, but I don't think she just falls under like, okay, this is psychopathy, this is sociopathy, like whatever
No.
it may be. No, I think she is like the perfect storm of, yes, she's a piece of shit and she has behavioral issues, but I think people should be aware, because if someone else that you may know all of a sudden has a perfect
Mm-hmm.
factor of combinations here, is it possible for them to do this too? Because I see a
Exactly.
lot of behavior that I've seen other girls do, not to limit it to girls. I'm just saying, like, between the faking of the pregnancies and the manipulation and
Yes.
staging things.
Yes.
Okay, maybe Al really just got desensitized to the point where he didn't think it was any different the way then from another girl that I know who's done the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think you're right. I think he was really desensitized to it, especially with these staged break-ins, and that's just like the police calls that we have access to. Can you imagine all the weird shit that happened that wasn't reported to the police that he probably just thought, like, I don't know, people like her are very good at convincing you that you're
Crazy.
they're gaslighting you to make you think that you're the crazy one or you're overreacting. So I can't even imagine, even not even just Al, but how much did Harley, Gannon, and Lena all go through where they were being blamed for things or being gaslit, thinking, you know what I mean? I think she was crafted over time by just being allowed to get away with so much for so long.
Agreed. So there's that. Says, I'd never understood how she thought she was going to get away with this. Well, I know that I've personally flipped between, and in the years coverage that I've done this, I'll jump back and forth between I genuinely believe she thought she could get away with it. Don't ask me how, but just based on what she's saying, what she's doing.
Yes.
And then I believe, oh, she knew there was no fucking way she was going to get out
Same.
of it. I'm back and forth, and I can't settle on just one opinion of it.
Same. I'm the same way. I can't either.
But maybe both are true. Again, we're dealing with Tisha, and just like we said, it's a moment-by-moment situation. And so maybe there are moments that she did think she could get away with it, and there were other moments she didn't.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it probably was a little bit of both.
Well, yeah, and this is what happens when you don't hold someone accountable. And when I say that, the only person accountable for taking Gannon's life is Letecia. But it is scary, even raising kids. It is good to hold children. It is good to hold your partner, family members, people, yourself accountable. Because if you let them get away, and again, it's that perfect storm of factors there, this is what you're dealing with. Someone who thinks they're invincible.
Yeah. Literally, yeah. Creates a monster, essentially. A confident one too.
Okay. All right. So it's continuing on. I think these are the messages to Mike, but go ahead.
And that's not even what happened. I said an accident, as in his decision making. You see, unlike you, I actually have told everyone for years, you are the one who'd done all the work. So like me, you did it all. And for that reason, you should understand the scrutiny.
So again, definitely. It's to Mike, Landon's husband, and but we're just the step parents, like you should know, like I'm stepmom, you're stepdad, you should know all the scrutiny and the microscope that we're under, the same way her Google searches, right? Why is it so hard to be a step parent? And you should understand the scrutiny. I told you, Carolyn Cooper. That's why I asked, like, when we went back over this again, when I saw how many people, because we're not used to people in this chat not being familiar with Letecia, because we did Letecia for a year straight, just straight. And so to see so many new people like, oh, I'm not familiar. It's like, if you're willing to put in the time. And when I say we haven't even, we've scratched a little bit. Okay. We have not gone back through the case files or, any of the phone calls when she was arrested. There is so much, and you need to hear all of it to really understand. I don't know. It's very fascinating because you don't have access to all of that in cases, but if you're interested in the psychology into like the mind of a killer, she is a very unique one, and it's very interesting. You have a lot of information to go through.
So much. I mean, I literally binged that's how I found you. I just seriously, I came across your stuff, and then I was like, oh my God, there's like endless amounts of videos on this. So I just binged it all, and the more I listened, the more
you get
fascinated. Hooked. Yeah, I wanted to hear more. So I'm glad new people are learning about this because it's so important.
I feel like I've said it before, I know I repeat it, but I feel like she's a modern day killer. And the best way I could say that is because, like I said before, to see social media being utilized the way that it was. And I see many similarities in certain girls that I've seen in Letecia. And it's like, well, is it her was she born a killer? I know she was born a piece of shit. Or was it this lack of accountability, today's society, the way she got away with things with Al? Like, was it that perfect combination? And if so, people need to be aware, because you need to be aware of things like that. And if you are in a relationship or you have a relationship with someone where you see these similarities, don't necessarily brush it off and think it's not possible, because I'm sure Al would say the same thing right before this happened. He didn't think that was possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The beginning of Wade's bull. Yeah, Wade is enough. Like, on a psychological level, Wade is very straightforward. It's not complex. And when I say that, I don't mean
very shallow,
disrespectful. Yeah, but just like him, the case itself, it's very straightforward, and so that's why I found more interest in the dynamics of the girls. But either way, like, it's nothing compared to, like, this is complex. Like, this is very fascinating for me, and we'll never have the answers, unfortunately. And upsets me.
I think that's almost kind of what keeps it so intriguing too, you know, is because like we have that innate need like to make everything make sense, to make the connection, and there's some aspects, many aspects of this case where you just can't do that.
You just can't do that, and my heart breaks the most for Gannon's family and his parents, because I'm like, who am I, essentially? And it bothers me that much, and that's why I just hope they have peace, because that's got to be a real hard, like, yes, I know some people think justice is making sure the person who is accountable is held accountable. Of course, that's a huge piece of it, but I think that what happened needs to be known, because that's their story. No matter how hard it is, that truth needs to be known. And how do you hold someone truly accountable if you don't even know exactly what they did?
Absolutely, yeah.
But unfortunately, she is never going to. She's going to go down to her grave with the truth.
Yeah, I agree completely. I don't think she will. And I'm confident saying she will never. But I mean, you know, I could be wrong, but I highly doubt.
But even if she did come out one day and was like, I'm going to do a sit down tell
all, you can't believe
we
her
wouldn't
anyway.
be able to believe her anyway, because all she does is lie.
Yep.
Me too, Julia. So this is once again that a clearer shot of that motion. So as you can see, it literally, like, so January 27th, 2020, 2:51 p.m. This was during that time, because Lena got off the bus, I think it was 3:20, like around 3:20, if I'm not mistaken. And so this little window of time is when this horrific murder occurred, and then her starting that cleanup for Lena to come to that door and her to say, no, go ride the bike. And so you're seeing the living room motion detector, basement motion detector, living room motion detector, living room motion detector, basement motion detector. And if you see the times, it's all within like 1 minute of each other.
Yeah.
Motion detector, living room motion detector, basement motion detector. And this right here, from the living room to the basement, there is a bigger chunk there. That's when she would have went up and Lena would have came to the door. And then we see Lena we see it in the trial of her riding the bike and even saying hello to like the men, I don't know what kind of, like, they weren't construction guys, but I think they were electricians or something, which was heartbreaking. It was just heartbreaking.
I know. It is kind of wild to see how, like, you imagine everything being frantic, but it's like I almost expected to see bigger chunks of time without so much movement, just because of what we know now.
Natasha, it haunts me, because she took Gannon's life in like 3 ways. And when I see this, and I've always had to ponder the question, because it was blunt force with an object we still to this day don't know that she used, gunshot, and then stabbing 18 times. And so it makes you wonder, did she have all 3 weapons on her? Or when we're seeing this up and down, is this her running and getting another effing object?
That's what I think personally. Obviously I don't know for sure, but that makes the most sense to me, unfortunately. I mean, because what are the odds you have all that on you at once? You know what I mean? You would think, I mean, with her, you never know, but
I don't think so. I don't think so either. I think maybe the blunt force and the knife, or the sharp force weapon. Yes. But the gun, I think she went back up and she got to finish.
I think so too. I think that was the last step personally. Yeah, I think you're right. I think, yeah.
It just gives me the chills. And even when you're watching that footage of Lena riding her bike, to know what is happening right inside, right in that moment. It's heartbreaking.
Poor innocent babe's just right. I know. That's just so sad. I just try to be careful how I like voice my theories too, just because of her and family. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
of
course.
Terrible.
It is. So these piss me off, because this is what Letecia would post, just like we explained all of that horrific those horrific details of what she did, right? But then she'll go on and she'll post this. So you could read this.
Gannon is loved and is clearly the center of our lives. I want nothing more than for him to come home. Lane and I had a good relationship through taking care of them, and she showed her gratitude for what I did and continue to do. We all want Gannon home. Despite those evil messages that she...
So she, and if you look, she,
and
it says Dr. Stauch tagged because, yes, Dr. Stauch was her name on Instagram.
Oh, ridiculous.
But it's all photos that Landon tagged her in, right? Like she tagged her, but she took those photos and compiled them in the screenshots to make her post. Like, oh, he is so loved. Gannon is so loved, and he's clearly the center of our lives. Really? Where are the you pictures with him?
Yeah.
Landon's pictures with him that she tagged you in. But she's more focused on, well, Landon and I had a good relationship, and she showed me gratitude for what I did. All while she just did what she did to Gannon. And now she's talking about his mom.
Yeah, very... I can't. Yeah.
It's a different type of evil. I'm telling you, it's a different type of evil.
Truly.
Look at Gannon and Lena. Look at that. I know it's blurry, but they were so adorable.
I know, and like so close, and not just makes me think of two littles that I know that are really close, and I can't imagine them being.
Cannot imagine.
No.
So this is someone that, once again, Letecia was talking with on Facebook, and Letecia says, that's fine. I'm not giving it to Facebook. I gave it to the reporter, meaning those ADT movements, the motions. That's fine. I'm not giving it to Facebook. I gave it to the reporter. Who cares if they see it? They aren't the law enforcement, right? And the person says, well, I was just saying that because sharing too much information can hinder the case. And with the way they're digging and everything like that for evidence, they'll just get crazier. Letecia responds, good. And when they taint it, it hurts law enforcement. And they come after me. And maybe start looking up the right tree. And the person said, have you spoke to Mike? There were screenshots, but it looked like it was all edited, to be honest. So again, now the messages between her and Mike are even getting posted on the Facebook groups. So I understand they didn't know like what was what in real time, but no, that really was Tecia taking screenshots of all their conversations and posting it to social media. And Leticia's only mentality is, well, it doesn't matter even if it does hate the investigation because, you know, they should be looking up the right tree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that how an innocent person would act? It's crazy, man. Ooh, what's a monster smash like Tecia? I got it. Hulk smash that monster can. It's so messed up. Hi, Kimberly. Okay. So then this is the next set. You can read it.
Yes. LOL. What does the set to no motion mean? There's so many back-to-back of the same doors opening and closing. They're minutes apart. They're minutes apart too of consistent opening and closing the same doors I see. No motion means no movement in that area. It clearly shows that there was more than just me in the house. Oh, okay. I misunderstood the things. I was so confused. There are 0 actual cameras in the house. That is part of the security system, or you guys didn't get any security cameras on the inside. I'm sorry, the way they word these is like...
No, lack of grammar and stuff really mess you up. I do it all the time with like lady jokes because they're bad. So she lied though. I don't know if you guys are aware, like with at least the alarm that I had at one point, when it's set to no motion, that doesn't mean that there's no motion detected. That means you don't want it to be picked up.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Yes. So you're setting it so that it's not picking up your motion.
Yes.
That's why when you're doing like alarm stay, the difference between alarm stay and alarm away is there is allowed to be motion inside because you're home versus if you're away, you're going to set it for motion detected because maybe someone was able to get in through a window without the alarm going off, but it's picking up the motion within the house.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, but I know that was highly debated. And I can't say I've ever had like an indoor alarm system. I just have like outside cameras, so I'm not entirely sure, but that was my assumption too.
Yeah, no, that's set to no motion means not picking up the motion, and which would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want it to pick up, but just like the woman said, right? You're seeing the same door open and close, and I urge you guys to take the screenshots of the alarms and really look at it, because that is the movements of the murders, and it makes you realize she's up, down, up, down, up, down, out, out, in, out, in, out, in. And it's like, what was she doing? We know that what she was doing, and we know that she was ensuing in a very detailed cleanup, but like it's nonstop out, back, in, out,
yeah.
in, up, down, and it was scattered.
There's not much time spent in one area at all. Like, it's very frenzied.
Okay. Yes, it's very frenzied.
It happens, especially reading this.
So Tisha says exactly, and the person says, "Oh yeah, the video released from when Gannon had burned the carpet by mistake. Everyone was posting how at the end they heard him say he was bleeding." So pause. That's the infamous last actual video that we hear Gannon actually talking in the night before Sunday. And it's a heartbreaking video. And he may have been drugged at this point. We're not exactly sure. But what we do know is that we will never get the answers on what happened with that candle incident. But Gannon is crying. You can't see him. You could hear him. And you hear him say, "I'm just worried about my burns." Now, if he didn't say that on that audio, Natasha, I would have really debated if he suffered any burns at all.
Same, yeah.
We're not able to determine that from his autopsy. And so, but the fact that he said that, I think
it's just so sad. How many kids do you hear speak like that? It's just sad, man.
And she's just like, "Well, we're gonna have to sell the couches, we're gonna have to do this, because the landlord's gonna be so mad at us." And it really resonated when I heard Al in the phone calls and the pretext calls say, I don't give a crap about any of the material stuff. This stuff can be replaced.
Who would?
Right. And
who gives a shit if the landlord's pissed? Who cares? Your kid's burned.
Well, we know she did it. This is the most twisted part. She did it. Whatever she did, because the fire expert got up on that stand and explained these carpets are fire retardant, okay? You would have to sit there with a very high heat flame for an extended period of time to even get that type of burn. Like sitting there with a torch type of
holding it.
It's not gonna just catch fire because a candle flips over. There's just no way.
No. She also said it was broken, and
it wasn't.
No.
And so you have to also remember Letecia posted that herself. The only person who had that video, any normal person who watches that video, your heart breaks. And you're like, what did you do? Okay. And Letecia, the lack of self-awareness that she has, posted it herself as if it makes her look in a good light at all. I don't understand how she posted all of this.
I don't either. Again, I feel like it was just, she's so caught up in just that few seconds of like, got to get through right now. And if it's proven wrong, I'll gaslight the shit out of you until
tomorrow.
Make up my next story.
Time comes.
Yep.
So Letecia responds, "He did bleed. I never hid that. That's where the blood came from. Once again, another fact I told police." So not the fact that it's a heartbreaking in Gannon's tears at the end of the video. She's not denying, "Oh yeah, no, he did say, but I'm bleeding." And that was a whole big debate when it first came out. But Tisha's just like, oh, he did bleed. I never hid that. I never hid that he bled. That's where the blood came from. The blood all over, the blood spatter everywhere. That came from that night. Yeah, absolutely. Which, no, if you're familiar with the crime scene photos and the blood spatter, that is not where the blood came from. Nor could you even possibly claim that. Like, the fact that she's even claiming it is just mind-blowing. But all Tisha cares about is, once again, it's something I told police. I already told them that.
Admitting to that smaller truth.
Yep. And they're like, what was he bleeding from on the video? Because this is Sunday night. Because I know it was mentioned how his foot got wrapped in the garage because he stepped on something in there, but never understood the bleeding. You all right?
Yeah. I was thinking about that too, and I don't think that happened the way it went.
No.
But he set a fire on accident. What do you mean? The candle broke from the heat. It jumped on the fire. Sorry, I meant what made him bleed. Was it the busted
candle? So here's Tisha. Well, what do you mean? All defensive. The candle broke from the heat. Yet in her own photos, which I could show you again, there is the candle sitting there, knocked over in one piece. And then she took that candle, threw it in the top of the garage, the top of the garbage outside, and they recovered it. They had that candle. It was not broken. So even her lies, just like you said, she's not thinking ahead of it. Is the candle broken? Look at the photo you took. You're posting these photos. Is the candle broken? Are you even putting an ounce of effort into it? No, candles don't break from heat either. But now this candle not only spilled, it combusted.
Yeah. The fucking sock in it with that.
Okay. This is just a post, Allison's post. I don't really remember the significance, but it says, I am friends with all three. They both have attacked each other's character, meaning like Landon, Letecia, Al. But it says, but stepmom and baby mom are both innocent. So if you want me to sum up character, here you go. And it says horrible things about Landon giving up her kids, sleeps with men, whatever. Letecia is self-centered, stuck up, and wanted Al not all the work for the kids full-time, just half-time. Albert hides behind closed doors, plays all sides because he is too scared to have a say, and hated Landon's husband and threatened him all the time because the guy was good to Gannon. So now that we have character out of the way, these three are innocent. We know for a fact they are. Have confidence in those tips coming in. They are not all speculation. We in South Carolina have worked very hard to gather some very good leads and turn them in. Please search in South Carolina and North Carolina. Thank you, law enforcement. So who knows if this was even like an actual person versus Tisha's many accounts, but I feel like it probably wasn't one of her many accounts because hers are very, very much aimed at pointing the finger at Landon and Al.
They are, but what strikes me as odd too is like how she says that Al hated Landon's husband and threatened him because he was good to Gannon. Like that doesn't even.
That sounds like Tisha.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't even make sense. Like, what kind of father would hate him for being good to his son? Anyway, I don't know. It just sounds really. I wonder if it was a friend.
I wonder if it was a friend that, like, maybe not a friend, but a mutual acquaintance.
Yes.
Knew all three, but then maybe have spoken more to Tisha and got the Tisha things. And welcome, Skylab. Thanks for becoming a member. But yeah, no, like, it's no secret that, like, there was issues between parents and the step parents, like, but that's not
normal.
Unnormal is I don't think unnormal is a word. That's not normal, like, but honestly, I think the way that Al and Landon handled themselves after, because there was a chunk of time after Gannon's murder that, things got rough, but overall, come the trial, I was so proud of them, and I know that I don't mean anything, so what does that mean? I'm just saying, like, personally, I felt like good for you guys. There was a united front, there was apologies, and there was strength. And that is perseverance and getting through and being strong for Gannon. And I love that.
Yeah. I mean, there's parents who have been together forever who lose a child and don't even make it. You know what I mean? I applaud them too for how they handled it after the fact, because I can't say I would have been so graceful as either one of them, honestly. So
I know, but Landon looked beautiful. I was shocked. I was blown away. She looked so beautiful, probably during the worst day of her life. But I think it showed, and she said, I have Gannon here with me. That's where my strength came from. He is here with me, and I just love that for her.
Yes, very, very strong woman. Mm-hmm. I think, and she leans in on her faith, and I think that no matter what you believe in, that clearly works for her, and you can tell, like, she just exudes that strength, you know?
Yes. And thank you, Obsessed with Mess, for 7 months.
Okay.
There you go. You could read this one.
Okay. Well, I wasn't saying anything until now. It's already out there. Some already know I'm friends with Stephanie, the babysitter. I've been in constant contact since Gannon went missing. On January 29th, she called me. I have record. She told me a strange tale. She went out on New Year's with Tisha. For some reason, Tisha said her ex contacted her. He came into a large sum of money. Could she keep it for him? She said it was too much to deposit. She could get into trouble. She said she would hold the cash. I asked Stephanie who the ex was. At the time, we thought it was Harley's dad, Chance. Stephanie had no idea he passed away until recently, seeing his obituary. Tisha did not say exactly when this happened, how much money, or who the ex was. I immediately told her to contact law enforcement, which she did. Stephanie apparently told someone yesterday, so it's out there already. I wonder if Tisha brought it up to law enforcement, since she brought it up.
You're getting good at when they're cut off. They're just cut off. I don't know.
I know. I'm like, I'm just going to read it and we'll just...
You know what we should do next? We should do next Tisha's prior criminal, because that's what it reminded me of, because a lot of people think her ex died and, you know, he overdosed, but it was, you know, a lot of people speculate. I actually don't think it had anything to do with it.
I know you don't, but I can't help it, MJ. I'm like, I don't.
Then we should do that. We should do that as the next one. We should go through what happened with him.
Yeah.
Criminal stuff, because I think it would be good to have opposing viewpoints on it.
Me too. And I haven't looked into that as in depth probably as you have, but
we'll look into it again and we'll do it together. I think that'd be fun.
Let's do it.
A lot of people don't know Tisha's criminal past too. Like, one, the situation with her, you know, Harley's dad, which Harley did not know how her dad passed until the week of trial.
So messed up.
And then she has a long criminal history, majority of it actually when she was a minor. So it's going to be fun to go through.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So this is under mom's account, Letecia's mom's account, and she had posted to the Gannon Stauch search party, and it says, I was told the Denver station who records had replay issues for the 2 Gannon video. I wanted to write some instead. Search party. Let's remember, analyzing past tense words and why people don't cry a certain way does not mean a person has no emotions. Some people are private or silent cry, and I was very upset that a majority of my search efforts were decreased through all the nonsense. I love Gannon. He is amazing. He is silly and kind. I have cared for him the last 2 years like he is my very own.
I'm sorry.
Does this sound like Letecia's mom? Okay. And because I wanted to, it does hurt that my participation was hindered because of all of the nonsense. And it says hindered. It does hurt with all the false accusations. We are human, and these comments that some make are the reason that we have hate in the world. And those will be the very same people who will show hate on this thread. Gannon does not like hate. Gannon was so happy on the hike and to eat his favorite place, Burger King. We had a good talk about how he was thankful to live in Colorado and to have 3 loving parents. He talked about his switch and buying items for his baby sister. So take my emotions how you want, because I am not crying. The truth is, I cried and I cried, but the weight of the world hits because so many people have opinions and names to call. On Monday, he was happy to stay at home, and he did have a doctor's appointment. I called the nurse's line and worked on a remedy. Please stop making assumptions. Actions are big, but sometimes a person's heart loves and shows it differently. I'm sorry if you think that my hurt wasn't good enough, but my love and my care was. We say we love each other every single day. I would ask, oh no, I don't. Okay.
Was.
Well, I guess this is cut off too. Okay, whatever.
She's still talking in past tense, as Deborah, even, by the way.
Yep.
And silly and kind, just like she said in the Spencer interview. He was silly and so kind. Like,
aw, thank you, Jean, for the memberships.
Thanks,
I don't know why I said it like that. Thank you, Jean, for the memberships. Thank you. Welcome. Congratulations. That was Tisha once again dragging in her family and using their accounts to post under while making the massive mistake of talking in first person.
Do you think like her mom, for example, was aware that she was doing that?
Probably not.
Probably. No, see, I wonder if, and I thought the same thing, but now I'm wondering, like, but did she? Because how did she get her account information? Did she like tell her mom, well, hey, this is what's gonna help the narrative change and keep it off, like, because then, like we were talking about earlier, how she wasn't held accountable for certain things. And I'm not blaming her mom. I'm not trying to go there. I'm just saying, like, if she was able to easily manipulate her family like that, and like just in that situation alone, how did you get? Well, I couldn't get into my mom's Facebook. I wouldn't want to anyway. But like,
I do know some older, like the older generation, that use the same password for anything, and there's a good chance maybe Tisha knew it. And
true.
Like you said, like whatever the circumstance and situation, I need access to this account so I can speak to Harley. Mine is taken, something like that. Or like Nancy's saying, she may have just set up the whole account right then and there.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yep, that's a good point, Nancy. There you can definitely have multiple accounts. Hell, her mom probably didn't know, to be honest. Really, I mean, again, I don't want to insinuate like her family anything. I feel bad they are related to her. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And thank you, Pan Am. That's very kind of you, too. Welcome, new members.
Thanks, Pan Man.
So there's that. My son knows all my passwords, see?
I don't even remember my own damn passwords.
Now she only prevents people named Amy. She does have a lot of Amy's. Amy's. Speaking of, we have an Amy post here. And so take it away, Natasha.
Thank you, sis. This is a difficult time for my sister, for myself, and our entire family. Continued prayers are greatly appreciated. Likewise, we also appreciate those who have and will continue to give financially to support my sister and her daughter, as they have had to live in various hotels, as they are receiving death threats, harassment, bullying from people actually stalking them. My sister's access to her bank account has been frozen, and her vehicle remains in police custody as part of an ongoing investigation. They continue to require funds for lodging, gas, fund, and other items required for daily living. To date, my sister and her daughter has not been given any funding from any fundraising efforts to support Gannon's family, although they both are an active part of Gannon's extended family as a stepmother and stepsister. Please feel free to donate to them via CashApp.
All while Letecia is saying, all Landon cared about was the money. She didn't care where Gannon was. It was just money, money, money. And this isn't even mad. Just wait till we get into the, there are the case files and then there are the jail files. But in the case files, there are reports that detail the alt accounts Letecia was creating, and then the funds.
Yes.
Hi, Lady Ghost Hunter. Thanks for popping out. So please donate to Cash App. here's the rest of them. Well, please feel free to donate to them via Cash App.
Jeez, man.
Okay. So this is Harley responding back to a comment, okay? And Harley says the police took their jewelry and they have over $10,000 in diamonds from Tisha. You know, because I call mom Tisha.
Yeah.
There was no other man. My mom worships the ground Albert walks on. She didn't want to stay, not because of Landon, but because her family was yelling at her in her own house. And someone was wearing her clothes around and going through her things out of spite. She's talking about Landon. Like, what? Landon had to borrow a fucking robe? Are you kidding me?
You can give her my damn robe.
She didn't have the robe. Okay. And the police took everything down to her ID and credit card, so no way to get to work. What work? What work, Tisha? So, besides, she is allowed to have pain as well. Okay, so, but again, it's showing that Letecia was using her family members' accounts, even her daughter's account, and this contributed to why a lot of people side-eyed Harley. What she did to her own daughter is crazy. It's just nuts.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is a screenshot of Harley and Letecia's text messages. Now you have to remember, Harley was at work at the time of the infamous candle incident. And so green is Letecia, blue is Harley, even though they're all on the same side.
Yeah. Don't panic, but Gannon turned on a candle downstairs. Set the downstairs on fire. I had to get the dogs and Lena out and run back downstairs and jump on him with a cover and put it out. I kept jumping on it. He is fine. He is scared and saying sorry and freaking out.
Harley says, how did he knock it over?
Yeah. You blew? Because he must have fell asleep.
So it wasn't knocked over?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Can you read?
Yes. Bitch. And it says he must have knocked it. So this is literally the exchange that Letecia had with Harley. You know, like he set a candle on fire. Wait, what was it? Hold on.
He turned it on.
He turned it on, yeah. He turned on a candle downstairs, set the downstairs on fire. She had to go rescue the dogs and Lena, run back downstairs, jump on him with a cover and put it out. I had to keep jumping on it. He's scared. He's fine though, but he keeps saying sorry. That is not what happened, but this is Letecia documenting. This is really when like the course of events really went poosh, and it's like what happened from right here on.
Yes.
I'll never know.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
And Harley's like, how did he knock it over? Because he must have fell asleep. So it wasn't knocked over? Yes. Oh my God. Can you read? Talking to her own daughter, getting mad at her because you're talking about turning on candles and shit. And it doesn't make sense. Even in text messages, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Not at all.
This is Dr. Stauch. Yeah. So it's no joke. Letecia's Instagram, her name was Dr. Stauch. If you're asking, well, what do you mean? Is she a doctor? No, she's not. She got, according to her, an online doctorate. But I don't believe, honestly, I've never seen anything that even states that, just her saying she has. So she's called herself Dr. Stauch, and just wait till we get to the case files, because she'd sign off to like her brand new employer, like from Dr. Stauch and stuff. It was crazy. But it's Instagram messages, and Letecia's responding to someone saying that my phone was left at home. We had Gannon's phone the whole time. They are actually helping the defense because it would never be in the area. So none of these clowns would be on a jury. And the person 2 Natashas.
It,
I have the old one.
dude, like all I heard was like you were repeating, and then I couldn't hear you anymore.
That's okay.
Why is there 2 of me?
Wow.
Okay, she's gone. She gone.
She gone. I kicked her. I kicked that old Natasha.
Shane, welcome.
Hi, Shane. Thank you. Welcome.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. Yes, she's a teacher. So the person asked, does his meds make him sluggish? And Letecia's too quick responding to just the only thing she wants to say. And she's like, because they had an illegal warrant. So again, they are actually helping the defense when the defense doesn't exist yet because she hasn't been charged yet. But it goes to show her mentality. She knew exactly what was coming.
Guilty conscience.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is a long post from Stauch. Go for it. Take it away.
I'm going to go ahead and say this so y'all can delete me. No desperation here, just to show how dumb people are. It is well with my soul, but I've had enough. Call it trashy, but I've had enough of the lies and threats. Most of y'all in these speculation groups are delusional. First, the neighbor sold the video for money. Then there was another one from the other side that was sent in. But they haven't released that because of these want-to-be detectives.
It doesn't exist.
Exactly.
It literally doesn't exist.
Didn't happen. It's a tactic to keep idiots busy while we find Gannon. You guys claim to come together, but have brought hate in the same sentences. Gannon's mom didn't give a shit about him or his sister. She had them at motels, abusive situations, criminal scenes with her husband, did drugs. Heck, Gannon even found her iPad with her doing drugs, and we have pictures of those.
All that's lies, guys, just so you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I scrolled up. So it's the second sentence.
Oh, you're good. Heck, Gannon even... Oh, I already read that. I'm not reading. Okay. Albert rescued them from guns in the back of their cars, police stops, living place to place, no home, and even had to fly on a plane from Alaska through the night to bring them back to us because she changed their school 3 times and had not place to live. She sold his toys, his Switch, and other items for drugs. So keep thinking that she cares and raising money. Gannon is still out there, and for those of you making all these speculations in some group are idiots. What about raising money for a reward, not supporting someone who is faking? They know exactly what was told to them, and they have followed those leads. Downing a person who has taken care of kids more than their mom is stupid. Know the facts. They don't involve someone hurting him. This is who you are putting on a pedestal while trying to bully someone else based on tasteless wannabe keyboard detectives. Do what Gannon would do. Realize he needs to be home so he can be with the people who took care of him and loved him.
And that's you, Tisha. So I hate even reading the post that she does about Landon.
I do too. I know you can tell.
It's hard and it feels icky, but you honestly, it truly shows how evil she was. She took his life, and this is during the period that Landon and Al had no idea where he was, but they did know that Letecia, think about the pretext calls and stuff, something was seriously wrong here. And then while dealing with that, this is what she was posting on social media. You can't get more evil than that. You really can't. She knows Landon had nothing to do with it, but she's still willing to slander her all over the internet while her son is missing, even though Letecia knows her son's gone.
Yeah. And to say the facts don't involve someone hurting him. Well, how the hell do you know that if you're not the one who saw him? If you're not the one that did anything to him, that would be my first thought. If my kids were missing and I had no clue where they were, my first thought would be, oh my God, someone's hurt them. Someone's taken them. You know what I mean? I would assume the worst, honestly. So it's really strange to me.
Was asking in her interrogation, which we should watch again. But he was saying, just like you said, like, what are these comments that you're making? You make comments which imply you know what happened. Then when I ask you what happened, you will not settle even on a solid statement of when was the last time you saw him.
Oh, that was so powerful.
It was gruesome. Oh, he was. I'm telling you, like, I know that I crush on him hard, but like
that was the moment.
She was maniacal. She was up and down. She had these tactics of ping-ponging around, and he was stoic and calm, and it just balanced out so perfectly. Like, it really did.
It really did.
Okay, let me see. See, these last ones got a little bit, I don't know. Okay. Okay, so this is, it's part of a comment. I don't know where the first half went, but it was mentioning how Harley had no idea how her dad passed away. So it says, I asked Stephanie who the ex was, meaning Letecia's ex. And at the time, we thought it was Harley's dad, Chance. Stephanie, which was the babysitter, had no idea he passed away until recently, seeing his obituary. Tisha did not say exactly when this happened, how much money, or who the ex was. I immediately told her to contact law enforcement, which she did. Stephanie apparently told someone yesterday, so it's out there already. I just wonder if Tisha brought it up to law enforcement, since she brought it up just 27 days before Gannon disappeared. So my question to her is, who's the ex since Chance died in 2014? Oh, no, sorry, I'm remembering what this was. This was, I think, during that cruise, that infamous, like, where we see her doing the shots. Letecia had made a comment to, I think, the babysitter, something along the lines of her ex was after her or something, and then she only found out later that her ex died in 2014. So which ex are you even referring to?
Oh, do you remember the other ex that she had, who...
Travis?
Yes, that's who I'm thinking of. Yep.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to see that when we get into the case files of she, like, framed him. He hadn't even seen her in over a year, and then all of a sudden he got the knock on the door, cops arresting him for abusing Letecia, who he had earlier that day, and he hadn't seen her. He hadn't, in a year? But I think that was Letecia telling Al a lie to get out of whatever situation she was in at the time, say that her ex abused her and had to follow through with pressing charges, and this poor guy got arrested.
Yes. Yep, I agree.
Cooper. Yeah, like that. I think, dude, if we really have no idea the scope of what she's done.
No. And again, this is just what's been put out there, so I can't even imagine all the not insignificant, but all the things that happen daily, just the minute little details that just she ingrained in everyone around her. You know what I mean? It's scary.
And Nancy, that is 27 days before he disappeared, because it was the 27th, so that would be New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like, because I know I need to jump back, because that's the end piece to this post that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This will always bother me because I don't have context for it. But what I do know is it's a message with someone. And you have to remember, like, this, all I do remember about it is that it was before he was found. And you could read it, but you'll understand why it's eerie when you read that first message.
Oh, yeah. Okay. She confessed to drugging him and that she drove around for hours, but he would not die. So she had to beat him to death with a bat. I tried to ask the person bat or 2x4, and they said they understood it as a bat. Then she stuffed his body into a suitcase. The same person told me Saturday that she was getting arrested Monday, and it was true. So that's why I believe this could be too.
So I remember, I think this was like the Wednesday or Thursday after her arrest, but that information, he wasn't found yet.
Yes.
Guys, he wasn't found yet. So this was, when you could see by the way she's saying, this person just told me on Saturday that she was getting arrested Monday, and she did, and it was still that week. So his body was not found yet. So to think about, he was drugged. We wouldn't know that until his body was recovered in a medical examiner.
And who would she confess that to, though?
I know. That's why I wish. I'm like, oh, I wish there was more context to this message here, because
she talked to somebody.
Yes.
And someone that, we've never heard from since.
This one's always going to bother me. It's between someone and another person right after Letecia was arrested, but it was prior to Gannon being found. So they did not know he was in a suitcase. They did not know he was drugged officially. So this would have been something Letecia said to the person. Yeah, and it's like, who is this person?
Yeah, because she essentially confessed to everything but shooting him.
Yeah. Well, I don't see the stabbing. But
I'm sorry.
There was blunt force trauma that we don't know.
You're right. That's right.
Now you guys saw in real time, every time I say something's about to fall on my head, that's what just happened.
Oh God.
You probably didn't see me because I fully squirmed like this.
What is it?
It was a giraffe. I told you there's things dropping down on my fucking head all the time now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I want to edit that out because I probably looked horrible in that moment.
The giraffe. No, you didn't. I didn't realize. You know what? You know how little I noticed, MJ? I just didn't realize that you're on camera. I'm over here trying to type on the laptop, talk on the phone. I got one little kid that does not want to go to sleep. She keeps peeking around the corner.
Aww.
I got a cat that keeps meowing, so I'm trying to mute.
No, there's literally only a couple left, but I think we should do the next one. Oh, don't you laugh at me, Harlot. I think we should do the next one, her history and Chance. I think that would be good. My ukulele is still here. Let me try to show it to you guys.
Do you play ukulele?
So you see all the stuff up there? I don't know if you guys can see it.
No.
No?
I can't.
Well, crap. I don't know. I'm playing. There's the ukulele. There's that match. But so this shit's falling down on me all the time, but I shake my leg. I'm a leg shaker. I go like this nonstop. So I think I'm shaking it and it boink, it's falling on me.
It's such a little guy. I love the little ukuleles. They're so cute and they sound so pretty.
Yeah, except it's fucking dangerous, Natasha.
Well, don't put it above your head.
Yeah.
You're gonna set that baby on the ground.
Well, no, it's pretty up there.
It is pretty up there. I wish I had shells like that.
Up there. Okay, let's see. All right. So this is, oh my goodness. This is when Tisha's account got hacked. No way, Harley. Do you really? That's so funny. I love it. Aww. It's just dangerous. That's it. So this is praying for Gannon's safe return home. And then you see T's account saying, the best president to walk the planet. Thank you for being on my side. It was great to hang with my crew today in Daytona. Keep America great. We love you, Trump. One last time for the 48. Gosh, it's awesome. That's right. And then it's just ESM here. Stay tuned for my live update. Pictures from the post Daytona 500. Keep America great. And here you
How weird.
I don't know if I believe that this was even legit.
I'm questioning that too, just because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
The person private messaged her, and go ahead, you could read her responses, and that's why I'm I don't see them doing this.
We are hackers. We're looking for evidence. I'll let you know if we find anything. Evidence? Trump gave us this right. Yes, we ready to find evidence because we know it's in here. That tea is innocent?
I don't believe she was hacked. I don't.
She wasn't fucking hacked.
I don't believe she was hacked. You know. And also, we ready to find evidence. Like, all right, so they are.
This sounds exactly like her.
Yeah.
She's hacked, but she ain't hacked.
Mm-mm. Okay. So hold on, because nope, it's okay. So the last ones are all. I don't know why it's all out of order. Okay, so not this one. Okay, so it starts with. Yep. Okay, so it's a long one. Just give me a chance, because as we jump through, I gotta find the order. But go ahead, you can read it.
Oh yeah. I want to thank my family and friends in the Carolinas who know my character and my dedication to our family. I have sleepless nights every day wondering what could have happened differently. Don't let the media fool you with videos and false info. I have cooperated with everyone and given them all that they ask for. Sometimes they let social media create these accusations to keep them busy because people involved in that nonsense have no interest in finding Gannon. With that said, I will only tell the truth, not accusations. I've spent the last 6 years of my life fighting for custody battles, helped Albert pay for it all, was the only person who stood by him in courtroom after courtroom. I took the kids from coast to coast to be with each parent, even driving through the night, extreme weather conditions, and countless amount of airplanes. This is not to bash any parent going through pain, but to say that I have pain as well.
Of course you do, Tisha.
Here.
Okay, here we are. So it says, everyone remembers month upon months when I was the only provider. Albert in Alaska and Landon was all over the place. We rescued the kids from horrible homes, living in motels, guns in the back of their cars. Their house was getting robbed, all the way up until I got the Instagram messages saying that she could not take care of them anymore. Out of love for my stepkids and my husband, I stepped in, delayed getting my doctorate, took care of them because I wanted to. Took them on adventures that most kids their age would never see. My husband had to prep the kids every time they went with their mom for their safety, until we eventually had them in our home 90% of the time. He worked crazy hours, lots of school, training, and took care of just took care of our needs. I took care of these two children like my very own. I wasn't perfect, but everyone saw all our pictures and the love that I gave them. Was it hard sometimes? Of course, because I grew up with Amy Lowry, my stepsister, and all of our families got along with no problems. There you go. You can read it. So it was difficult.
So it was difficult navigating through that. But I want everyone to know that it is well with my soul because I would never harm a child, especially not our children. I'm sorry, I laughed about the well with my soul because we all know that ain't right. On Sunday, we went on a hike and Gannon was there crying with me because I was crying. It was the day that Kobe passed, but he had no idea who he was, just that I was upset. I had every intention of covering up the fire that he started and protecting his feelings from what punished he thought he was going to get. That was our plan the next day, was to rectify the situation so that his little heart could stop crying.
Manipulative bitch.
Hang on, I'll read. I have the video because somehow my phone was recording. Somehow. And you can hear how sorry he was. I have the pictures after we returned. How? Home, I'm assuming. So please don't believe what these people are speculating. And I know, sorry, but I'm just going to say, like, this one here actually really pisses me off more than a lot of them. Because, like, she acknowledged, like, the language she uses, like, so his little heart could stop. Like, she has this mask that she pretends to be this good-hearted, empathetic person, and, like, there were multiple things in that really pissed me off, but she knows exactly what she's doing. You know what I mean? She's just a really shitty person, and to me, I don't know. There were a lot of things in there that really rubbed me the wrong way.
It's makes her most evil.
It does,
those
yeah.
little words, the fact that she typed that out, the fact that she could say that knowing what she did, it's what makes her most evil.
She knows what she did is wrong. Like, she's very cognizant of the fact that what she did is wrong. And that's what, there's no mental illness here that made her lose. No, I don't know. That one pissed me off.
I know. I think this is the ending to it. I don't know why the last few got mixed up, but it says, I explained to them and provided evidence. They had information about Gannon having the key to go up to the outside gate. Last, they have more in-depth details that go along with this, pointing to who sent the person or why he may have come again. Why he may have come. Again, I repeat that they had this initially, meaning law enforcement, and I was asked to keep quiet about it so that they could have the best shot at doing their job and bringing Gannon home. The last thing that they needed was a hindrance to their investigation. I encourage you to think of any suspicious cars that may have been in the area watching a few days prior and keep praying for G. Tisha Stauch. So she posted this, letting the public think that, oh no, listen, there's actually, I know you're all looking at me, but there's actually more to the story. And police knew about this from day one because I told them, but they didn't want the public to start going crazy and they wanted to avoid a hindrance to the investigation. So we kept this under wraps, but actually I'm completely innocent and you're all going to find out soon.
Yep. His little face, his little ears, and his little hat.
I know. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, this is still Tisha.
Social media has been devastating, from the harsh comments, speculations, threats, cyberbullying, etc. It has been a challenge when people are trying to run you off the road, waiting outside your hotel, threatening to kill you, etc. I encourage the sheriff's office to take down those pages that promote negative behavior and violence. Let's do what Gannon would do. Be kind to one another.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Right? We all have engaged in something crazy online at some point, but Gannon would want everyone to get along and to focus on finding him.
And she knew the whole time. She knew the whole time.
And using his name, so, like, it's kind of insane. You know how most people will try to, like, use distancing language? Like, she doesn't shy away from using his name over and over and over.
No, she doesn't. But that's why I'm excited to go through Grusing's interrogation again, because it says a lot for body language and verbal communication, because she could use his name, but she can't answer any direct question. Like, Grusing really got to her, and it was really fascinating to watch.
It was. You know what, though, MJ? I say that about her not shying away from saying his name, but when I think about it, she didn't shy away from it when she was on social media, but when she was on the pretext calls with Al, she never really said his name.
And when she would refer to him a lot, writing wise, it would always be G.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a distancing technique, I think.
Yes.
But I think that's because she was in control when she was making the post, but anytime it was confrontation, she couldn't.
Great point. Yeah, absolutely. She controlled the narrative online.
Mm-hmm. And then I have this random one that was out of order, because I remember that, because I've gone through these posts so much. I remember it ended on Tisha's post, but I don't know why this one is out of order. But this just says, how the hell is the house a crime scene if he left and didn't come back with me, supposedly? They're saying there's a crime scene with all this blood in the house, which they let people live in during the supposed crime scene for 7+ days. But then a video shows him leaving with me, walking. That literally sums up all the pretext calls.
Yep.
Right there, just sums up all the pretext calls.
It does.
How many times did we hear her say, oh, the crime scene? If it was a crime scene, they let you go into the crime scene. Like, tell us you're guilty without telling us you're guilty. If you are focused on a loophole, and that's what Al said to her in the pretext calls, you're more focused on a loophole of how you're going to get out of this by tainting this crime scene versus the fact that you didn't do it. And then she argued that it wasn't a crime scene. But yes, it's a crime scene by your own admission, because come day 2, you're saying that a man broke in, assaulted you, and took Gannon.
Yep. But nobody heard him.
Not a soul. Nor, and just wait, guys, till we get to the interrogation again, if you haven't watched it, because Grusing asked her, okay, we have the footage. We have the footage from the house, right? The neighbor's ring cam footage, and we can see every time you go and you leave. So we see Gannon going in. Gannon never leaves. How is that possible? And Letecia's like, do you not understand the level of the people that I am talking about? You don't think they know how to doctor it up and to adjust it? And then obviously you won't see him. They altered the footage. They altered all the ring cam footage, and everything is exactly how it's supposed to be, other than seeing Gannon leave. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't know how. And again, this is where I bounce back and forth between how the hell did she ever think she was going to get away with this, to a lot of moments where it's like, holy shit, she thought she was going to get away with this.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's, again, I still feel like you said, I think it was both at some points. She planned on it to go a lot differently, but she was so used to lying and manipulating her way through everything. I truly do think that she believed she was smarter than everyone else, because like you said, everyone for so long it's so much easier to just shut her the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just, okay, sure, whatever you say. And I'll admit, I've been guilty of this at some points. I've had some situations where I've done the same, and and that's another aspect of this where I'm like, you really can't do that. You do need to hold people accountable because of things like this right here. Like,
have to. And
yeah, absolutely
too. And when we go through, because you guys, next time we'll go through, like I said, her criminal past, and then what happened with her ex, Harley's dad. But what I want to say is, during her criminal past, you're going to see that Tisha had, from a minor, never held accountable. Like, the fact that she was even able to work in a school and have the past that she has, talking about bomb threats at 17 years old, calling in bomb threats to her high school and stuff. And she always got away with it.
Yeah. That's insane.
And
that's insane.
Footage that Allie and Bundy are showing, where she is tying a hammer from a string and throwing it up to the
I laugh. It's not like that is like, because really, like, I can't remember who it was that pointed it out when we were watching it, but like, that could have smoked out in his head and really fucked him up. So like, she just did. You know what? Like, really though, I'm like, how? She doesn't fucking care. She didn't care about him. She didn't.
No. But
I don't think she cared about any of them. I don't even think she cared about Harley, to be honest. I think she used Harley as like a tool, as a means to an end.
Yep, and she lived vicariously through her. But
yes,
seeing the literal hammer, even though I knew about that incident, but seeing it on video, Natasha, it really resonated, because I always say she needed to take the next step up, and then that's what the candle incident. But when I saw that, it really resonated with me, like how far she was going. She was going as far as wrapping a damn hammer with a string, throwing it up through the roof, and staging these events where the cops are coming, okay? All for Al. So it really, I'm like, stepping it up each time. If it was at that point a year beforehand.
I was about to ask you, I think it was a year.
It was a year beforehand. They had just moved into that house.
See, so now think about that. If that's where she was a year before all this craziness happened, what she had a year between then and what the situation we're looking at now,
right? And
you know what I mean?
Staging suicides with Harley and stuff, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I mean, she wasn't even honest with Harley about how her own dad died, which makes me think, why wouldn't you? Because that was the perfect opportunity for Tisha to make herself look like a victim again, but she didn't. For some reason. Why? Because my personal opinion is, I do think she was dabbling in things. My heart and soul feels 100% Tisha was a dabbler, more than a dabbler. And I think that's why she was scared to tell Harley, because again, a guilty conscience thing. Like, well, what if she thinks I'm one? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Her behavior in this situation screams it too. So,
you know what? Because I say it all the time, like I bounce back and forth with my theories a lot on this case. And so maybe going through again what happened with Chance, because we have like the actual amounts that was in his system and things like that. I think it'll be good. And maybe, who knows, maybe my opinion is going to change. And thank you, FOS.
Me
I'm going
too.
through your teacher content and your playlist. Thank you.
Aww.
You're so sweet. And Twisted Stitches, he is remarried. Her name is Melissa. And they have met basically because they had both lost children just in different ways, and they connected and they're together. So
they have another child, from my understanding, right? At least one. I don't know anything more than that, but
yeah, I think
hopefully
she has multiple kids, and then he has Lena. And then, but they were together. If you watch the trial, she's there with him at trial.
Yes. Yeah. And I can't, I mean, yeah, I just hope all Gannon's family's happy. That's all I care about.
Me too. But I think we should do, like I said, the next live on that. And there's so much, but just wait till we get to the case, because I want to go through the case files again and the kites, the jail files.
Me too. It really brings it full circle.
Yes, it really does. Because if you think Letecia stopped her shenanigans once she was arrested, no, you are wrong. She only amped that baby up, and she's getting in fights with the damn computer systems.
There's naked Indian ladies in the cupboard, in the vents. There's paintings on the wall.
Yes.
There's dirty water being tossed.
I can't wait. I think I get so excited anytime someone tells me that they're not familiar, because it's like, if you're willing to give me some time, like, this is going to blow your head off. You know?
Carolyn Cooper has dedicated. She's dedicated. She jumped in, and now she's binging on it all too.
And she said from day one, she's like, I'm willing to listen. And I'm like, every time I see her back, I get so excited. Like, yes.
Me too. Me too. I love it, because I was in that same spot. So it's cool to see everybody else diving into.
Oh my goodness. Make the teacher look stank. I know, she's finding scriptures on the ground. Oh yeah. And I'll never forget when she was like, I was denied my food. I could only eat the food during this for the religious period. And the kiosk came back with the exact date, the exact time, the weather, the light that was out, everything. And when she was served her meal, and like totally debunked her. You would never expect a kiosk to respond in the way it responded, even though I think it's like the person actually typing it out, but it was amazing. It was.
I love it.
Harley's doing really good, little D. You can find her on social media, but her and Landon have spoken, like they've showed compassion for one another, and I think that's amazing.
Real quick before we go, can I get your opinion? And if you don't want to say, I get that too. But how do you, and everyone in chat, how do you guys personally feel about her telling her own story through her book? Because I personally, I'll admit, I think everyone has a right to tell their story, period. So I don't personally see anything wrong with it, but I know that there's an opposing side where people feel like it's wrong to profit. But my argument to that is, she didn't choose for that to happen. She's a victim of her circumstances, in my opinion. And I feel like she would have a story that a lot of people would be interested in hearing, and I think it would be very cathartic to her. So I personally would be very interested in hearing it, but I'm also open to why it could be viewed differently by other people. So I'm just curious about your guys' thoughts.
Similar to, like I said a second ago, like that I flip-flop a lot when it comes to things about this case. If you had asked me, even 2 years ago, what I thought about it, I probably wouldn't like it. But it was after that you really dig, and it shows the importance to really dig into a case and educate yourself, because these are people, these are humans, and Because there's like I feel like you become a little desensitized when you're covering it, or you may be in true crime because you're so used to it. But no, you have to take the time and really understand this is a person, and what Harley has gone through, and seeing her up on that stand changed my opinion a lot. And going through all the case files and all, just everything again, refreshing your recollection of it. And I think, just like you said, she has a right to tell her story. It's her story. And the truth is, I talk about it. 80 million other creators talk about it. Everyone else talks about your story. You have the right to talk about your story. And as long as it's her story, which it is, she was very much involved.
For sure.
And so as of now, I think, she, of course, she has the right to do that. Of course. And if Landon and Al are okay with it, who the hell am I?
Mm-hmm. And that's, again, I just like, and not even necessarily like, is it right? But like, I don't know. I personally feel like if having a bad mother in general is awful. And I feel for people who didn't have a good mom. I was very blessed in that aspect.
Yeah.
I had an awesome mom. She wasn't perfect, but I love her, and it could have been far worse. But I can't imagine having someone like Letecia as a mom. And I feel like even this situation aside, just hearing from someone who's had a mother like that and how much it influenced their lives would be super fascinating to read about, because I am into the psychology of it all. So I feel like that would be a very interesting viewpoint. Personally,
she has a very, very unique story, and she is the only one who can tell us. I'd be very curious to read her book.
Me too.
But yay, I'm excited to do the next one now. I'm excited to just line things up because there is so much, and I think it would be really good since we have different, at least as of now, we have different viewpoints on it. So we'll do Chance and Tisha's prior criminal history next.
Woohoo!
Yay! So thank you for coming on, Tasha.
I'm so glad you're
feeling better. Yes, and thank you everyone in the chat. Happy Members Only Monday, and we will see you guys soon.
Night.
Good night.
Bye.